and we spell FUN. Type fun in the chat. Yeah, today is the day. Today is the day. We're going to have quite a bit of fun today, and I want to make sure that you understand how to make your videos storific. Let's do it, sir. All right. Hey, Janice Duff, how you doing today? This conference is wonderful. Yes, it is. My goodness, so glad to see you today. My name is Robert Kennedy III, RK3, and today we're going to be talking about how to create video content that sells, right? Video content that connects and engages with people. Give me a reason. Go ahead into the chat and just type for me, why'd you come today? Why did you come today? What is the big thing that you came to accomplish? Or what is the big thing that you came to get out of today's session? All right, let me see. Go ahead. Janice Duff says this conference is wonderful. Thank you, Janice. I appreciate you. Anybody else? Kelly, David. All right, Amit. Anybody else that's here? Just go ahead and share with me why you came today to this conference. All right, listen, let's get moving on this thing. We're going to talk today about how to create content that connects, but I want to just start with this. I'm trying to run a business, but getting attention is impossible. I like it. Kate O'Neill says, new ways to share our mission. I like it. I'm trying to run a business, but getting attention is impossible. How many of you feel like that? If you feel like that, just type me in the chat. My goodness. Why are we here today? Well, you're probably a business owner who wants to make a better case for your products and services, right? Or maybe you're a business leader who leads meetings and does sessions online frequently. Or maybe you're a coach or consultant that knows that they can make more impact by telling stories and showing up better on screen. So what's the problem here? What's the problem? Well, we got a lot of people who are business owners that are struggling to connect with their audience, their customers, and their target market. And that is why we are having the Be More Bold conference today. Just before this, I hope you guys enjoyed Justin Jones Fasu, buddy of mine. He came in with the energy, dancing, and he was really telling you a story about how to work meaningful. I saw a little bit earlier, Rebecca and Keith Scott and Rebecca Klein Scott, and they had some amazing nuggets as well. And we're going to share some things with you in this session that are really going to help you to build on some of this stuff that you've already heard. All right. So let's keep going. A lot of times, if you are back in the day when you started out your business, people told you that you had to do certain things. You had to do some specific things. And it was, if you build it, they will come. How many of you remember that movie? I don't know if you remember that movie. Was it Kevin Costner? I don't remember. Yeah, Kevin Costner. If you build it, they will come. And you started to do some things in your business to follow that model. They told you that you needed business cards, right? They told you that you needed an email address, right? They told you that you needed a website, right? And you said, listen, I'm just going to go and get all of that stuff. David Clements says to share information with his students. Kelly Lemon says, oh, Clements and Lemons. All right, good. Yeah, we're rhyming here today. Kelly says to improve classroom and to gain new personal and professional skills. I love it. So you've had business cards, you've had websites, you've had email addresses. Those are the things that you were told that you needed to have in order to have an effective business, right? And I'm like you. I followed that advice. I was born in Jamaica, grew up in the Bronx, was a science teacher, news anchor. And in my first business, k3music.com, I followed that advice. I followed the advice. I got a website. I got some business cards. And listen, how many of you have 500 business cards still stacked up on your desk or in your basement? Right? I did that. I had my first sites were a music site, and I had a web development site, and I followed the normal model. I followed what they told me to do, and I ended up with a lot of business cards on my desk. Now, you can still follow that model if you choose, and a lot of people still are, but we are now in 2021, and some stuff is different. It's no longer if you build it, they will come. It's no longer if I put my website on the web that somebody's going to show up and buy stuff from me. That's not the truth. That's not the model. That's not what's happening anymore. right? Because now you've got to focus on SEO, analytics, marketing, wikis, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole lot of stuff that you've got to focus on if you're trying to make sales on the web or sales these days in your business. If you're trying to make sales, just go ahead and type yes in the chat. So I know that I'm in the right room. I want to make sure that I'm in the right room. Type yes in the chat if you are trying to make sales. If you're not trying to make sales, then oh my gosh, why are you in business? Right? In order for a business to happen, in order for a business to exist, in order for a business to prosper and progress, you got to make sales. So now here's the deal. A website is just a piece of that equation. A website is no longer the main thing. Your website is no longer the entree. Your website is no longer the main course. Your website is no longer the thing that you get married to and you hope that it lasts for 10 years without going to a lawyer. Right? Your website is just a part of that equation. So now business happens in some different ways. Right? Business happens in different ways. A lot of times people are saying, you gotta have a blog. You gotta have a blog. You gotta have a blog. Do you have a blog? Do you have a blog? You gotta have a blog, right? You gotta have a blog. That was so 10 years ago. Everybody said, you gotta have a blog. Now they're saying you've gotta have written media coverage as well. Oh, okay. You gotta get in the newspaper. You gotta get in Entrepreneur Magazine. You gotta get a write-up. They're telling you that you've got to have podcasts as well. Do you have a podcast? Are you on Apple Podcasts? Are you on Spotify? Are you on Pandora? Do you have a Oh my gosh, you're not doing business because you don't have a podcast. You got to have a podcast. They're telling you that. You got to network. You got to go to these events. They're telling you all of this stuff. But here's the deal. One of the best ways to gain visibility and to gain attention in the marketplace, especially with your content, is through video. How many of you are incorporating video into your business right now? Just type video if you are incorporating video at all. And I'm sure that some of you are, right? Some of you are already incorporating video into your business. And maybe you're just doing it through some of the mechanisms that I've shared on screen here. Maybe you're live streaming. Maybe you're going on Facebook and you're live streaming, or maybe you're on Twitter, or maybe you have a YouTube channel, or maybe you're on Amazon Live. Yes, there is Amazon Live. Oh yeah, if you don't know, now you know. You got to check it out. There is LinkedIn Live. There's video email marketing, BombBomb, Hippo, Dub, Loom. You've got a lot of different things that you can do with video. Why is video so crucial and important? Well, we are visual people. Right? Video is it really stands out these days because there's motion, there's movement, there's something that people can pay attention to. And your job as the creator, your job as the business owner is to get attention. So here's what I did. I came in and I got attention by dancing just a little bit. Justin came in and he got your attention by dancing just a little bit, injected energy into the space. So we've got to be able to do that with our marketing, with our video, with our stories. Now, here's the thing. If I were to ask you, what was the largest search engine in the world? And get where I'm going here. We're going down this journey. We're going on the trip, right? What is the largest search engine in the world? Go ahead and type that in the chat if you see it. All right. Or if you know this. What is the largest search engine in the world? Well, if you're not sure what it is, Google. Yeah, you probably knew that already. The largest search engine in the world is Google, right? Google's become a verb. As a matter of fact, if you need to search something, people don't say, I'm going to go to a search engine. People don't say, I'm going to Bing it. People don't say, I'm going to ask Jeeves. Remember that? Remember? People say, I'm going to Google something. Google is the largest search engine in the world, right? Guess what is the second largest search engine in the world? What is the second largest search engine in the world? Come on, Emmett. Do you know what that is? Go ahead. Kelly, tell me what it is. Yeah, Stephanie Goldberg, you get what do we want to give Stephanie? We want to give Stephanie a medal of some sort. Yes, Stephanie. So the second largest search engine in the world is YouTube. And YouTube is owned by Google, right? So if I want to make a difference if I want to get visibility, if I want to get SEO, if I want to get into the analytics, if I want to be recognized in some way, I've got to figure out how to leverage video, especially YouTube, so that I can increase my proliferation. I can increase where I show up on the web, right? Kelly says, go, Stephanie. Yeah, come on, let's dance for a second. Yeah, all right, good deal. So if you want to get into video, there are a lot of different things that you can do. If you are below 23 years old, no, maybe I'm making some assumptions. You probably have a TikTok account. All right. Or maybe you have experimented with IG or Instagram Reels. Those are some short video options for you. Or YouTube has something known as YouTube Shorts. Maybe you're saying, my gosh, I don't have time to come up with a bunch of content and I don't want to spend 10 minutes making a video. YouTube has something called YouTube Shorts, which allows you to create great content in 60 seconds or less, right? That's another way that you can begin to share your message. That's another way that you can begin to share your information. My goodness, I remember a few months ago when I decided that I was going to try YouTube Shorts. And I was like, man, this is just so, what's the difference? How is this going to make a difference for me in my business? And I decided that I was going to make a YouTube Shorts video, and less than 60 seconds. And here's the good thing about it. It's 60 seconds, so people don't have to invest or commit, right? We're scared of commitment these days, right? People don't have to commit a lot of time to it. So it's 60 seconds. And I had a couple of YouTube Shorts videos that had a few thousand views really quickly. Wow. So you mean if I'm investing up to 60 seconds of time, I could make a difference? I could have people pay attention in my business? Yeah, you can. But again, it's not just the video. It's not just the fact that you have a video online. There's some other stuff that we want to pay attention to as well, right? So what is that other stuff that we've got to pay attention to? Well, I've got two pieces of news for you, right? So number one, the good news, as we've been saying, is that video is a powerful way to connect. But you know this because you're brilliant, you're smart people, right? Video is a powerful way to connect. Here's the bad news. There's a lot of video. There's a lot of video. How many times have you gone on Facebook and you've seen just a stream of video? How many times have you gone on Instagram and you've seen just a stream of video? How many times have you gone on YouTube? Well, Robert, the whole purpose of YouTube is video. Dude, what are you even talking about? Right? How many times have you gone on LinkedIn or Twitter and you've seen a lot of video and you're saying, my goodness, I don't want to be another one of the crowd? Go ahead and type me in the chat. I want to see you. I want to see you. I want to get with you today. I want to connect with you. I want to have conversation with you. Go ahead and type me in the chat if you have been somebody who has seen videos and you've been discouraged from putting videos together because you say, my goodness, why would anybody pay attention to me? Is that you? Janice says me. Sharon says me. Yeah. A lot of us, most people, a lot of business owners are saying, you know what? I'm just going to go old school. I'm just going to email people, or I'm just going to go and I'm going to lick my envelope and take it to the post office and maybe I'll mail a postcard. I'm just going to go old school because I'm just going to go to a networking event because that's where I can connect with people and high five them. And although I'm an introvert and I don't like pepperoni, I don't know. Yeah. Right. We've got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of excuses that we give to ourselves as business owners, right? For why we're not doing the best thing or the latest thing or the thing that we're supposed to do. So the question for you is, as a business owner, why are you not using video more? Why are you not using video more? Well, I want to share with you a way that you can use video that is going to up your engagement level. That's going to up the connection level with your videos. And here it is. Here it is. All of you know this already, but it's a secret that I'm going to tell you again. You ready? Ooh, drum roll. Where's my drum roll sound effect? Okay, hold on one second. Drum roll. Is everybody ready? Drum roll. Drum roll. Here it is. Here it is. Storytelling is the way that you increase your video engagement. Storytelling is the way that you increase your video engagement. As a matter of fact, storytelling, I believe, is the most powerful way to communicate. So how do I increase my storytelling, or how do I incorporate storytelling into my videos? Stephanie says, I overthink it. You're not alone, Stephanie. All right. And we only got about 15 minutes here. So I want to make sure that we get through this. Listen, here we go. So when we say story, most people think once upon a time. Last week I experienced. My boyfriend, girlfriend made me feel this way. But when we talk about stories, especially as we relate to video, we're not talking about just the once upon a time. We're talking about the structure of a story. We're talking about the structure of a story. So when I talk about the structure of a story, what am I talking about? I'm talking about setting a video up, or setting up your conversation where you set a context, you address or create attention, and then you offer solutions, right? Let me say that another way. You speak to your audience. Sometimes we end up speaking about us, right? So you want to speak to your audience. What's happening with them? What opportunities are they missing because of their current state? How can they fix it or change their current state? I remember I was in the state of Massachusetts. I was sitting in my living room and my doorbell rang. I went to the door and I looked out, and in the driveway was this man. He's standing there with a big display board. And on this display board, there's a little squares. I open the door and I go outside, and he says, hey, I've been walking around the neighborhood and we're selling carpet. We've got Berber, we've got Austin Powers shag, we've got the wavy kind of carpet. Come on out and feel the little swatches of carpet. So I go out and I start touching the carpet, and I'm touching this piece and I'm touching that piece. And he's starting to smile. He's like, yeah, he's touching my carpet. And I start to touch the carpet. And after about 5 minutes, I say enough. And I open my door and I show him that my entire house is hardwood. He had no idea what my story was. He had no idea what my needs were. He had no idea. He started with the product. And how often do we as business owners do this? How often do we do a video, we do anything, and we start with the product? We've got to start with the needs of our audience. So here's how we do this. All right. So we got a little bit, our time's moving. So I'm going to skip past this here. So for videos, I don't want to call them just videos. I want to call them video stories. Okay. And there's several formulas that you can use to make your videos great. I use this one and I call it my CLEAR formula: connect, lesson, experience, action, remind, and reconnect. You follow that sequence, you're going to be able to get attention and engagement in your video. But I want to share with you 5 things that you can do to really begin up-leveling your video story. Okay. So let me explain what a story really is. All right. So when we talk about stories, we're talking about something simple here, right? Stories essentially have 4 main elements, right? That first element is referred to as the context. All right. And that's what's going on with your audience and what's happening in their world right now. The second element is character. And that's who your audience is or who is experiencing that context. The third element, and all stories, good ones, need to have this, that's conflict, right? And then the fourth element here is conclusion. Now, the conclusion, I hope you can understand my writing. Now, the conclusion really is your product, your solution, your process, right? That's what you want to share with people. But in the middle here, I've got something that I like to call a catalyst. So let me explain this a little bit further. This stuff here, this is really where you begin. And notice it's a bus, right? That's a good bus. This is really where you begin to build emotion, because you're sharing with your audience why, right? So in this section, you're sharing with them that you understand what's happening in their world. You understand who they are. You experience similar things to them. And then you're sharing with them that you know that something is broken, that something is missing, and that you understand it, and you're connecting, you're relating to your audience. Okay. Then this section where I call the catalyst simply says, now I know that you need something to fix this thing that's broken. You need a better way to operate. You need a better system in order to fulfill your marketing. Once you share with them, yes, I do need a better system. Now you say, introducing such and such and such, right? So this is the conclusion now, where you're talking about your product and you're explaining the product, you're explaining the solution and the process. After that, all right, let me see if I got enough room here. After that, we have what we call the call to action. So I'll go over that again. You build emotion, you speak about why, then you share what it is that your audience needs, and then you start to share the actual product, process, program, or solution. Then after that, you make an invitation, you give a call to action. You want to move the audience to action, and so you share with them what their next step is. So I call this the 6 C's of storytelling, right? At the end of the session today, I'm going to share with you a link where you can grab not just this list, but how you can incorporate that into your storytelling as you create videos. Okay, so now you can use stories. You can use video stories. If you follow the story formula, you can use video stories to explain your business. You can use video stories to promote or market your business. You can solve a problem. You can communicate with your customers. You can say thank you. You can follow up with them. There's a lot that you can do, so much that you can do when you decide that you're going to utilize video. So I'm going to share with you 5 types of video stories. You're saying, Robert, I don't know much about videos. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can create. Well, listen, I'm going to share with you 5 things, and I want you to write these 5 things down. If you write these 5 things down, you will have at least 5 pieces of video content that you can create in the next week. Guaranteed. Okay? So here's number 1. Here's number 1. If you're ready, type ready in the chat. Go ahead and type ready. I want to see some readies. Let me get some music playing so that we can get some readies in the audience. Hold on. Here we go. Boom. Okay. All right. Actually, maybe you want something a little bit more hip hoppy. Here we go. Boom. Let me dance for a second. Yes. Here we go. Go ahead and type ready. Carlina's ready. Anthony's ready. Sonia's ready. Kate's ready. Arma Jean is ready. I like it. All right. Here we go. So 5 types of video stories that you can create. Here's number 1. The controversy or rant. Yeah. Right? The controversy or rant type of video. Now, what is that? Oh my gosh, I'm totally upset about this. I hate this. I don't like this, right? This is a way to grab attention. OMG, you won't believe this. At the bottom right of my screen, here's what I've done for you. Several places that this type of video will work well for you. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, not so much on LinkedIn. Right? So is there something that you have a strong opinion about? Okay. And so I'm not talking in absolutes here. You can do controversy or you can do rants on LinkedIn. I'm not saying that you don't ever, but your best place for that is not on LinkedIn. Okay. So that's one type. Here's your second type. Information. I just want you to know. You want to think about reflections. You want to think about, share some ideas. You want to share resources. Maybe you want to showcase a company innovation. That's a second type that you can create. So I'm going to go back. Number one, controversy. Number two, information. Okay, what is it that you want to share? And all the social media channels you can work on just sharing information. Here's a third type, teaching. Let me show you how to do this. Let me give you a step-by-step. Let me go through some hacks, or what is it? Let me show you a do-it-yourself way to make this work. Let me show you something specific that's going to help you accomplish this, right? YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, teaching works really well. Instagram, not always. And of course, I've put an asterisk there because it really depends on if your audience is established or not. Okay. When you're first starting out on Instagram, you don't want to launch right into teaching. You want to create connections. And so you're going to be doing some shorter videos. Teaching videos, more often than not, tend to be longer. Okay. So you might want to start out with information or something that's going to grab attention. The fourth type is interview. Maybe you're interviewing somebody one-to-one, or maybe you're going two-to-one, two people interviewing, or maybe you're interviewing a group of people, maybe a panel discussion. Throw one of these in every once in a while. This is a good video story type that you can use. Let's look at another one. It's not me. It's like a TV show. You're at an event, you're at a place, and you're sharing, you're going live and you're sharing with people what happened there, or you're recording it and you're sharing with people what happened there at a specific event. Okay. YouTube, really good. Facebook, really good. Instagram, really good for that. LinkedIn, you can do that, but I would look at incorporating LinkedIn events in order to do that. Okay. So these are 5 types. If you want to share, if you want to learn a little bit more about this, again, absolutely feel free to touch bases with me. Now, why do you need to understand the different types of video types and video stories? Well, because it affects how your audience listens. If your audience is a professional audience and they're looking for hiring information, you doing a rant is not always going to be the best way to do. So you've got to understand the types of information as well as your audience. So Robert, you've given us a lot of information in a pretty quick time period. I don't have a microphone like you do. I don't have a background. I don't have lights. I don't have special cameras. I don't have all of that. Listen, the best way for you to start is to start where you are. Start with what you have. Do not allow your fear to keep you from your customers. Do not allow the rationalizations or excuses that we build up in our heads sometimes to keep us from impacting other people. Do not allow the things that we're nervous about to keep us from transforming lives and making a difference for people. So start where you are right now. If it's just your cell phone, your smartphone, do that and figure out which platform you want to go live on. Because if not now, when? When are you going to start? So here's what I want to do. I want to share this with you. If you have a phone, I want you to hold it up to the screen right now. And here is a QR code. Use your camera option. What I'm going to do is I'm allowing you to download what I call the 6C video worksheet. It's going to help you to storify your videos, make your videos storable. If you're scared of putting a video together, I want to go back through. I want to share this with you so that you can utilize the story methodology that I've shared here with you today. Okay, so go ahead, scan that and download that. If you have any questions and if you weren't able to get it, feel free to send me a text and I will make sure that I get you that information. Okay. All right. You can contact me. Listen, it's been amazing hanging out with everybody today. You can contact me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. You can text me at 410-936-4049, or you can join me in the Storytellers Growth Lab on Facebook. Listen, I have had a fabulous, phenomenal time. If this has been valuable for you, go ahead and type yes in the chat for me today. I really want to see this. Yeah, we've got some great people here. Stephanie Goldenberg says, have I been calling you Goldberg all this time, Stephanie? Stephanie said yes. Kate says yes. Sharon Markley says thank you. Yes. All right. Love it. David Clements. I mean, listen, it's been fabulous seeing you. Go ahead and text me if you want any more information. And if you have not been able to grab that download, go ahead. Let me make sure that I can have this for you. Let me put it up on screen so that you can grab that again. We're just right at our time. And I just want you to know that I love each and every one of you. And my job, my purpose in this world is to help you figure out how you can utilize your experiences, your stories, in order to transform and make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you so much for listening to me, hanging out with me, and having fun with me today. I'll see you next time.